Welcome to another AnimaBixos Explainer. Today, we are cracking open a highly classified tactical dossier on the mascot of our very own channel. We're talking about the ocean's ultimate tactical force. Look, forget the great white shark for a second. Forget the giant squid. We are looking at the absolute apex of the apex. This is a creature operating with such cold, calculated perfection that it dominates every single ocean on Earth, all the way from the freezing Arctic down to the tropical equator. That's exactly right. When we talk about the ocean's hierarchy, there is this creature and then there is absolutely everyone else, period. They are the undisputed, unrivaled masters of the deep. But before we really get into the heavy artillery of their biological weaponry, we actually need to address a massive paradox right up front. Right. There is this grand, almost unsettling mystery surrounding these creatures. We're talking about the most feared, highly coordinated hunters in the entire aquatic world. These squads take down the largest animals on the planet with absolute surgical precision, and yet there is literally zero record of them ever hunting a human being in the wild. It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? I mean, here you have a predator that could so easily view us as just a slow, uncoordinated snack paddling around on a surfboard, but they don't. It's almost like they have some sort of bizarre professional courtesy, or perhaps their highly advanced tactical programming just doesn't even recognize us as valid prey. It's a brilliant irony, really. The absolute deadliest creature in the water is completely harmless to us, while a random jellyfish the size of a dinner plate can ruin your whole week. Exactly. And actually, speaking of ironies, let's address the biggest historical identity theft in all of biology. We universally call them killer whales. But here is the bombastic revelation if you haven't heard it before. They are not whales at all. They are actually the largest dolphins in the world.
Right. They're literally giant, highly intelligent dolphins wearing a tuxedo. The whole killer whale label is just a completely unfair misnomer, born from centuries of terrified sailors. Early mariners would see these squads hunting actual large baleen whales, and they called them whale killers. And somehow, over time, that just got flipped around in translation to killer whales. So the most terrifying whale in the sea isn't even a whale.
So we clearly need to completely reset our understanding of this animal. Here's our briefing overview for today's explainer. 1. The killer whale myth. 2. Anatomy of a supreme predator. 3. The 4 lethal factions. 4. Hunting strategies and genius. 5. Matriarchal command and culture. And 6. The final AnimaBixos verdict. Brace yourselves because this is going to be a dense, high-energy deep dive into a true tactical squad.
Section 1. The killer whale myth, unmasking the giant dolphin. We've established our baseline. We aren't looking at a mindless killer here. We are analyzing a highly calculated, supreme predator.
Which brings us directly to Section 2, Anatomy of a Supreme Predator. Because to truly understand their global dominance, you first have to comprehend their insane physical scale. It's just so hard for the human brain to comprehend their sheer biological mass. We hear numbers like multiple meters long or 6 tons of weight, and our brains just kind of tune it out. It doesn't mean anything to us. So let's ground this right now. Imagine a heavy-duty truck. Now shrink that truck down to a tiny toy in your mind, compared to the actual immense bulk of an adult male. Or, actually better yet, imagine an adult hippopotamus, a massive, terrifying, multi-ton river tank. Now stack several of those adult hippos together. That is the equivalent weight we are dealing with here, and it's moving through the water at speeds up to 35 miles per hour. It's staggering. I mean, you're talking about an animal that moves with the grace and agility of a high-end sports car, but carries the momentum and sheer physical power of a fully loaded freight train. It's an absolute unit of muscle, teeth, and raw hydrodynamic perfection. You just don't stand a chance against that physics. But brute force is literally nothing without stealth and defense. Think about their iconic black and white suit. It's not just for show, right? It is elite optical camouflage. Scientifically, it's known as countershading, and it perfectly breaks up their massive silhouette in the water. If a prey animal is swimming above them and looks down, the dark back blends absolutely seamlessly with the pitch-black abyss of the deep ocean. They just vanish.
And if prey is swimming below them and looks up, that bright white belly completely disappears into the bright sunlight filtering down from the surface. It's essentially a built-in cloaking device. Plus, we have to talk about their extreme thermal armor. They possess this incredibly dense layer of blubber fat, up to 4 inches thick, that acts as an impenetrable wetsuit. It allows them to casually survive in extreme, freezing ice environments without their internal organs shutting down. Between the camouflage and the armor, they are virtually indestructible.
Now we enter the dense core of our dossier, Section 3, the 4 lethal factions. You see, they don't just operate as one random global species. They are divided into distinct, highly specialized operational squads, the ultimate special forces of the sea. Across the globe, these creatures are formally organized into 4 main ecotypes, or factions if you will. We have the residents, the transients, the offshores, and the Antarctic types. And the absolutely crucial point you have to understand here is that these aren't just families hanging out in different neighborhoods. No, they have entirely different diets, completely different languages, and wildly different rules of engagement. They operate almost like completely different species entirely. Exactly. If you put one faction right next to another, they wouldn't interact, they wouldn't socialize, they definitely wouldn't breed. Their DNA is so incredibly distinct after thousands of years of this separation that science is actually heavily considering classifying them as entirely separate species. It's a strict global division of tactical units. So let's look at the transients first. These guys are the absolute stealth ninjas of the ocean. Yeah, unlike the other factions, transients are strictly hunting other marine mammals. We're talking seals, sea lions, porpoises, and even the calves of other massive whale species. Now, because their prey has excellent underwater hearing, the transients have to operate in complete and total silence. No chatter, no pinging, just a silent, heavily coordinated squad of assassins moving through the water to ambush their target before it even realizes what hit it. They will literally headbutt sea lions high into the air just to disorient them and avoid getting bitten, or they'll team up to exhaust and drown much larger whales by just relentlessly covering their blowholes. It's brutal. Then you have the offshore faction. These are the deep ocean elite hunters. They don't want seals. They specialize in hunting sharks and rays. And yes, that includes apex predators like great white sharks, specifically targeting them to extract their nutrient-dense livers with absolute surgical precision.
Talk about a gritty reality. I mean, the offshore faction actively seeks out some of the ocean's most dangerous fish. But here is perhaps the most metal fact about them. Shark skin is essentially made of microscopic teeth. It's literally like heavy-duty sandpaper. So because the offshore killer whales eat so many sharks, their own teeth get sanded down to the absolute gums over their lifetimes. Just picture that. They are out in the open ocean, chewing on living sandpaper to take down apex predators.
Now, in stark contrast to that, let's look at the residents in the Antarctic divisions. The residents are these loud, noisy, massive pods living right near the coast. They don't need to be quiet at all because they strictly eat fish, primarily salmon, which don't have the hearing capabilities of a sea lion. So they just chat away all day while fishing. It's like a noisy family reunion all the time.
Right, and then down in the extreme south, you have the Antarctic specialists, divided into types A, B, C, and D. They are masters of the ice, but type D, that is a genuine biological mystery right there. They have these distinctively rounded heads and these bizarre, extremely tiny white eye patches compared to literally all other killer whales. They look almost alien, and they inhabit the most hostile, turbulent, freezing subantarctic waters on the planet. Science is honestly still trying to decode exactly what is going on with the type D operatives.
Section 4. Hunting Strategies and Genius. This is where their genius intelligence truly shines on the battlefield. We aren't just talking about swimming fast, we are talking about executing complex, calculated strategy. Take the artificial wave tactic, for example. Picture this. A seal is resting on a flat block of ice, thinking it's completely safe out of the water. The squad identifies the target. Then, they actually fall back. They mathematically calculate the size of the ice floe and line up in a perfect, synchronized military formation. They charge the ice block together and dive at the exact same millisecond. The fluid physics of this is just terrifying. By diving together in perfect unison, their massive bodies generate a huge, localized artificial wave that rushes completely over the ice floe, violently washing the isolated seal right off its safe haven and directly into the waiting jaws of the squad. It's calculated, it's entirely physics-based, and it requires profound intelligence and timing to execute without making a single mistake.
And look, if you thought that was intense, let's discuss the intentional stranding technique.
Oh man, this is the highest risk, highest reward, lethal strategy in their entire playbook. They target sea lions that are resting right on the dry, sandy beach. The killer whale will literally launch its multi-ton body completely out of the water, intentionally beaching itself on the dry sand just to snatch the prey. Now remember, getting stuck on land is an absolute death sentence for a marine animal of this size. Gravity will literally crush them. So, mothers will spend years teaching their calves this exact maneuver in the shallows before they are ever allowed to actually try it on a live hunt. They have to time it so perfectly that they capture the sea lion and then immediately use the momentum of the receding ocean waves, rolling their massive bodies back into the water. The sheer physical power and spatial awareness required to do this and actually survive is just unparalleled.
And to pull all this off, they possess a massive technological edge: biological sonar. When they are hunting hundreds of feet down, remember, it is pitch black. But they don't even need eyes. They have a massive acoustic organ in their heads called a melon. They emit these rapid echolocation clicks that bounce off objects and return directly to them. It basically acts as an advanced, high-resolution tactical radar. They can see the exact size, speed, interior density, and even the direction of their prey in complete and total darkness. There is literally nowhere to hide. Section 5. Matriarchal Command and Culture. We've talked about their weapons, we've talked about their tactics, but to truly understand the supreme predator, you have to understand the mind. This is all about the structure of an apex society.
Because their dominance isn't just physical, right? It's heavily cultural. This isn't just some loose pack of wild animals operating on instinct. It is a strict matriarchal command structure. The older females, the grandmothers, are the generals. Orcas are actually one of the very few species on Earth, alongside humans, that go through menopause. This means these older females live for decades after they stop reproducing solely to act as leaders. They hold a literal lifetime of ecological knowledge, and they're the ones teaching these highly complex tactical hunting tricks to the younger generations.
And their culture runs incredibly deep. They have highly sophisticated dialects. The clicks and whistles they make aren't just random animal noises. It's an inherited regional language. A killer whale from Japan has a completely different dialect than a killer whale from Iceland. If they met in the wild, they would be a literal global language barrier. They flat out would not understand each other. But I think my favorite part is that beneath all this lethal efficiency, they have an immense cognitive bandwidth just for play. They will literally find pieces of seaweed, specifically kelp, and drape it over their heads, wearing it around like a hat just for fun. It's this bizarre, fascinating display of cognitive freedom in an apex society. They're just messing around.
Which brings us to the end of today's tactical briefing. Section 6, the final AnimaBixos verdict. It is time for our debriefing. All right, we've unmasked the giant dolphin. We've mapped the global factions, and we've witnessed the genius intelligence of their lethal strategy. But now, we turn the interrogation over to you.
That's right. Head down to the comments right now and answer this tactical dilemma for us. If you were dropping into the ocean right now, would you rather be a sneaky, silent, stealth, transient killer whale hunting mammals in the shadows, or a loud, noisy, salmon-loving resident hanging out with your massive coastal squad? Let's hear it.
Let us know your faction in the comments below. And hey, if you survived this AnimaBixos deep dive, make sure you leave us a super like, or, as we call it in the elite squad, a high-value tactical like. Subscribe to the AnimaBixos channel, hit that notification bell to stay updated on all our wildlife dossiers, and stay sharp out there. We'll see you in the next explainer.